My name is John Gerke. I am the Chief Nursing Officer at Presbyterian St. Luke's in the Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children. I'm very excited to be here and get to spend about 20 minutes with you talking about nursing leadership. I started my nursing career 16 years ago as a bone marrow transplant nurse. It was in those early years of my career where I really developed a passion for serving our oncology patients. I've never done anything like this presentation before. I have to tell you I'm quite nervous, but knowing that my audience is a group of oncology nurses certainly puts me at ease. I have to acknowledge that seeing this many dedicated professionals gather, taking time out of your busy workday and personal schedules to be here is beyond impressive. It shows your commitment to learning and being the best you can be, which will directly enable the profession of nursing to excel. As a nursing leader, it really makes me proud. I wanted to start by talking a little bit about my nursing leadership journey. As I was preparing for the speech, I really wanted to look at where did my journey begin? And I really believe my journey of nursing leadership began when I became an RN. It was at that point that I was able to influence my culture. I could offer support to my colleagues. I could recognize and appreciate the people I worked with throughout the organization and improve their engagement. I could share my voice to help advocate for change. Leadership opportunities are allowed to all of us. It's how far we push those opportunities is up to us. After I left the bedside, I moved into a house supervisor role in my organization. That job really pertains of nurse and CNA staffing as well as patient throughput and movement throughout the facility. It was in this role where I first understood the operations of the hospital, the importance of throughput, of teams working together, and the impacts of staffing. I love being able to support process improvement and better execute our operational efficiencies. I then became a CNC, or permanent charge nurse. This role allowed me to strategically round on employees. I was able to remove barriers for them and help them be more effective in their roles. I also got to learn about their career aspirations and help develop career paths for them where they could reach their goals. These two things, driving operations and supporting my employees, really helped me decide that I wanted to formally pursue a career in nursing leadership. Thank you. Buy me some time to breathe. There you go. So I have a few topics displayed here on the screen that I want to cover. I think these are some of the most relevant and important aspects of nursing leadership today. But first, I want to turn your attention to this graphic on the screen. I really found this resonated with me. First, at the bottom, it talks about nursing leadership leading the organization. Over the last 2 years, the most successful healthcare systems have realized they must have nursing at the forefront of their plan, and nursing needs to be leading their organizations. In most healthcare systems, over 50% of employees are nurses. Now more than ever, nursing leaders are the most important leaders for hospitals to be successful. There is no growth or service line development without engaged and dynamic nursing leaders and nursing teams. There is no physician recruitment without highly effective nursing teams. We have known this for years, that we are the cog that makes the wheel turn. But only over the last couple of years have our organizations been able to understand this and put nurses up front. I also really like the aspect of nursing leadership leading change. This is what we do. Nursing leaders are some of the best operators at any hospital. We've been solving problems and MacGyvering things our whole nursing careers, so I believe this comes natural to us. We lead through change more frequently and faster than ever before. We deal with more supply chain barriers, staffing challenges, and ever-changing technology advances. We have to embrace change and recognize that it will not stop. On this screen, I wanted to talk about the different leadership styles. If you were to do research, these are the 7 most recognized styles by different educational leadership institutions. I share these because I think it's helpful for us to know about each of them. When I started my formal leadership nursing career 10 years ago, it was common to review and research these styles and decide which one pertains the most to us, or which one do I want to strive to be and go forward. What I have learned over the years is that the best leaders encompass skills from all these different styles, and they are able to use different styles based on the situations that they are being dealt. I believe our worlds in clinical operations are too dynamic for leaders to only have one or two styles. I also believe it isn't fair for me to have a style and make my direct reports adapt to that style. As the senior leader, I should be able to adapt my style to meet their needs, the needs of the teams that report directly to me. I think there are opportunities at all levels to use these leadership styles and adapt them to be different, to meet the different challenges we face and overcome barriers, ultimately cultivating a positive culture. One thing I've learned a lot about over the last couple of years is not a style, but a culture here of nursing leadership, and it's called strength-based leadership. It's a style where you build your team based on maximizing the strength of the team, of all the team members. I believe too often we focus on our weaknesses or areas where we are lacking. Strength-based leadership doesn't mean that you don't avoid learning new skills or sharpening areas of opportunities to be the best you can be. But what it does mean is while we are working on improving those weaknesses, we want to utilize our strengths to lead our teams. There are many strength-based leadership or strength-based assessment tools out there to help you complete a self-assessment. I encourage you to seek these out and understand what your strengths are. No matter what your scope or role, having this information will allow you to understand your strengths and use that information to strategically approach your work. I also think it's a great tool for parenting as well. If you decide to use a strength-based model and build your team or build a group of people to tackle a project, know one important aspect of this style: you have to have a very diverse team. You have to have people from different backgrounds with different experiences who possess different strengths. Moving over to culture, which probably should have been at the top of the screen because I think it's the most important aspect of any team. And I love this quote that culture eats strategy for breakfast. I really like this because it helps me guide where I'm spending my time. If I am working on things that are going to help improve the culture of my team, the rest will follow. If I neglect the culture, the operations will eventually fail. I believe people underestimate the power they have to influence cultures both positively and negatively. As nursing leaders, our ability to cultivate positive cultures routinely determines whether we succeed or fail, so it is well worth our investment. Talking about accountability, I believe accountability most of the time has a negative connotation. People think they don't want to be held accountable. I don't think that's true. I think people need to have clearly defined expectation, and then it's the leader's job to hold them accountable. I think this is one of the few things that is actually easier in the nursing leadership field than other leadership jobs. And I think that's the case because we get to work with dedicated, educated, driven professionals every day. That is not the same in other lines of business. Nurses want to be held accountable, but more importantly, they want others to be held accountable around them. They strive for greatness, and this is especially true with our high performers, if we do not hold the low performers accountable around them, we will drive our high performers out. Moving to some challenges in nursing leadership, I really wanted to focus on some of the most recent things that I think are some of the hardest challenges for new nursing leaders or veteran nursing leaders in 2024. First is the business of healthcare. What we have to understand here is healthcare is a business and it isn't going away. Budgets and the bottom line are real, and we have to know that. We can't let it frustrate us. What we have to do is ask questions and work to learn from the experts. What is important for us to know as nursing leaders, it is our job to help our non-clinical leaders understand the impact of clinical outcomes when decisions are made. You can't do it alone. We learned in nursing school the importance of delegation, and that is the same is true in leadership. A lack of ability, or more importantly, what I see as a desire to delegate, is the most common reason I see nursing leaders burn out. I think this is especially hard for nurse leaders because they are naturally built and wired to care about other people more than themselves. They would rather take it all on and risk burning themselves out, negatively impact themselves, than ask for help, or better yet, empower others to help lead. There are people on our teams who have strengths, who are influencers, and have a desire to lead. We have to trust and empower them to lead the team. This is how we grow the next generation of leaders. When we went to nursing school, we were focused, and rightfully so, on clinical outcomes and the impact of care on our patients. Leading a team is not always the biggest challenge that we have in leadership. What I see is the ability for us to advocate and communicate effectively with our key partners to get things done. It is common for nurse leaders to lead with emotions when they are driving for change. This can work with our clinical teams, but if we need to engage our financial and business partner support, it won't work. Emotions aren't their language. They need data, facts, numbers, and a business plan on what will result for the company if they make the investment we are asking for. And we can't save everyone. Again, I think this is a more unique challenge for nursing leaders, as we are natural caregivers, and it's our natural tendency to give and give and give until we have nothing left. Knowing that you have given all you can to employees, colleagues, or difficult patients, and exhausted all of your resources, and they maybe just won't make the changes that we're asking for or help themselves, is an important skill to learn. We can't save everyone, and sometimes people need to find their own path to make them happy. I love my doctors and my physician colleagues, but I added this bubble on the screen about physicians because as I have grown in leadership, I have certainly learned that managing doctors is much harder than managing nurses. Before I open it up to see if anyone has any questions, I just want to thank you all for being here. I hope you're able to take something away from this that will help you in your career. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what our roles are, what organizations we work for. We are all nurses. Our ability to support and lift each other up is the differentiator in our profession. I am honored to have you as colleagues and know with all of you the future of nursing is very promising. Thank you.